Welcome to Mossbank Mountain Railway. I am Michael Bastow, the builder of the line. It is named after moss which grows in abundance and the fact that it appears on multiple levels on the hillside, as do most mountain railways. The line was built in 2 stages. The main line, which starts at Mossbank Station, and an extension to a terminus. The main line is built in the form of a folded dumbbell, but the loops are very large, the lower loop extending from one end of the original site to the other. The upper loop is smaller and always runs in a clockwise direction, as exit from the terminus station is controlled by spring points to ensure the trains join the main line in the same direction as trains already on it. The lower loop can run in either direction, depending on the spring bias of one point, which gives varied running. Visitors never know which way their train will be running until the session has started. Passing loops on the bi-directional track are also spring-loaded for sanity's sake. The size of the upper and lower loops means a lot of trains can run at once.
Although I am the chief engineer of the line, some things have been done by others. The many people who appear around the line have mostly been painted by friends and relatives, who on the whole are more than willing to do so, and the figures attain their own personalities. The school children and staff have all been painted either by friends who were in education or by children. Some have stories behind them, like the pregnant lady at the cottage with her children. My wife Gillian was showing my godson around one of the shows when he saw the lady and said, "Look, my mum." His mum was expecting at the time. Purchase was duly made and the group was painted by the family, and she's been expecting ever since. Some figures have been collected on holidays. The fisherman in Norway, the terracotta army in China, and the brown bear in Canada. We will start our journey from Kirklees Castle Station. The castle itself was built to disguise a high wall that is the side of one of our large compost bins. It also just happens to sit on a municipal boundary. The station building is from Pendle and is painted as I paint all my buildings, using first a basic undercoat. A stone or slate colour is then applied, with other colours blended into that colour from a palette of colours before it has dried, much as an artist would paint a picture. Everything is done in one application. The row of cottages and the shop presented the problem of what the shop might sell. It was eventually decided to make it an art shop, as this gave me the opportunity to photograph some of my mother's paint pictures. She was an artist, and shrink them to an appropriate size along with a photo from the railway to display in the window. The other set of cottages and shop I acquired second hand, and Gillian describes them as the cop-out, because I've not done anything with them yet other than add the sign. The garage also has a tale behind it, as it was modelled from a still taken from an old cine film of a garage that was owned by Gillian's father in the 1960s, before they built the new one. After leaving the station, we cross one of 2 lift-out bridges, which allows access to our compost bins. We then pass a stand of bonsai oak trees, which Gillian lifts every year and trims the roots before replanting. Leaving the upper loop, we almost immediately enter a passing loop on the bidirectional section of track. Leaving here, we run down to Valleyhead Station, which is also a passing loop. The station building here is scratch built, as is the footbridge. Out of the station and onto the embankment, which is actually a hedge of Linicera nitidea. This is a very versatile plant which can be used in many different ways. Here it is seen as a clump of trees, and then in its golden form as a cloud-pruned tree. It is quick growing, so if you cut off more than you intended, it will quickly regrow. The rockery was created from a need to be able to see the line as trains run round the spiral. But it also created a nice dry valley under the viaducts. These are concrete castings based on the Landwasser and Solliser viaducts in Switzerland. Most of the bridges on the line are scratch built from various aluminium sections and pop riveted together. The gradients on the line mean that this is a line that has to be driven, something our visitors really enjoy. Moss Bank was the first building on the line, and is 3 Lineside Delights kits stitched together, now made by Pendle. The loco we passed on entry was a kit built Katie, with a scratch built tender. The loco seen in the Jubilee photo is North British No. 9, built for the Burma Mines Railways, an ex-Peter Dowd engine. Another bridge is seen here before installation with its concrete support blocks, which when mounted allow for expansion. The other supports were cast in situ. The halt was a building that sat unnoticed in the undergrowth until being provided with a platform and other embellishments. The Lister diesels sitting in the siding was built by Gillian, who one day said, "I want to build an engine." The result, after some assistance, is there to be seen. we end back at Kirklees Castle Station. So maybe we should head across to the Castle Inn for something to eat and drink.